Hey everyone, this is the tour of the Transformational Practices module I created for the Canvas certification course. So here is the outlook of the course right now. Kind of take a look through everything that's part of it. The goal here is to take a look at Google Assignments LTI 1.3 as an LTI, an external tool for Canvas. Also to reflect a little bit on what we've learned about personalized learning with the learner profile. Reviewing some ideas about frameworks to help teachers start to build out their own coursework. We'll look at the Google Assignment LTI and interact with it as a student might. And then down here we have some personalized learning experiences for each of the teachers to experience as they practice doing personalized learning as a student might. I also have some analog products, and down at the bottom we'll finish with a quiz. So let's jump right in. Start off with the module overview. This is an introduction to the ideas presented about Google Assignments LTI for Canvas, and also about personalized learning and those frameworks. Moving ahead, we jump right in with a learner profile. This is just a short quiz talking a little bit about what the teacher's preferences are and how they learn, whether they belong in a group or on their own. There are opportunities for collaboration as part of the 4 C's in this, so we'll see that as we go. This discussion is an opportunity for them to communicate about what they learned and then to respond to members also participating in the module. Next thing, we look at some of those frameworks with SAMR, TPAC, TIMS, PICRAT, and then our district right now is focusing a lot on the Bolt School framework popularized in Weston Kieschnitz's book, Bolt School. So we're focusing a little bit on that. Once they've looked through those articles, then we'll look at the Google Assignments LTI 1.3. And we've been using that quite often in the district, and what we found is that many teachers create files in Word, PowerPoint, and Excel, and then expect them to work with the Google LTI. And it can't, because these aren't native files in Google, and so they need to convert them first to Google Docs, slides, and sheets in order to make them work. So that's a little warning about that. Now we'll move on to what happens when teachers interact with the Google Assignments LTI 1.3 as a student might. So we start off here with a Jamboard activity, followed by drawings and slides, kind of in combination. There are 2 activities in here for them to work through. And then from here we look at a Freyer model vocabulary activity, using ideas from the frameworks with these 2 samples to show how the framework for the Freyer model works. And then this is the assessment choice board. So this is where teachers get to pick and collaborate to show what they've learned, communicate their ideas, use some critical thinking in what they choose to include and not include, and also to be a little bit creative. So at the top we have digital products using WeVideo, Google Slides, Adobe CC Express, Canva, ThingLink, Illustrator, Photoshop, Flip, and then at the bottom analog products, posters, roller movies, zines, and illustrations. And if they don't see anything they like here, they can propose an option that they would prefer to do. From here we just have some sample pages about each of those topics. So here is a demo of how to do a WeVideo movie with a video sample, and then a podcast sample, followed by Google Slides, where they interact again with the Google LTI 1.3. Let's see, this will be Adobe Express. Presentations are fantastic there, so I have a template they can try as they learn more about that. And we jump in next with creating an infographic, and we have access to both Canva and Creative Cloud Express. Here's a sample infographic, and then there's a template at the bottom for them to get started on. Very basic. After that, ThingLink, just a couple of ideas here to look at if they create an interactive graphic there. And then we move on into illustration using Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator. Photoshop does have an online version, Illustrator does not, so the teachers would need to download Illustrator if they choose to try it. We do have access here in my state to those because it's part of a statewide purchase. A sample of a smash-up between Illustrator and Photoshop. Flip was recently approved by our DPA group, and so they can use Flip to work with that. Here are some analog products, poster that they might do, roller movies. This one includes a cell phone, so it's kind of a hybrid model. Moving right on. a zine. If you haven't tried zines, they're a lot of fun to make, usually out of one piece of paper. they could also do an illustration. So that brings us now to the quiz at the end. That brings us to our proposal. This is a Google form where they can propose an item of their choice, followed by a quiz. And this just goes back through some of those items that we talked about earlier with the frameworks, although I've removed all the labels and then they have to sort of match what they have. This is going to jump us out of the module for just a second. So we'll come back in right here with our concluding activity, which is a discussion of what they learned in the module and what teachers will be able to do, and then they can communicate with their colleagues. Hopefully I've covered the 4 C's well enough, and so that's a quick overview of my module. Have a great day.